Hi, I'm Paul Davis, and today on Lucas's Lizards, we're going to be doing a boa pet review.
What are you doing on my set? Get out of here! Okay, so anyways, now that that's over with, pet reviews number 3. I don't know why the hell we keep doing these, but hey, they're getting like 10 views each, so let's keep going. Anyways, today we're going to be pet reviewing boa constrictors. Now today, to help me out with this, since I don't actually own a boa, we're going to have Paul, the owner of this beautiful snake right here, come and help me explain these guys. You again!
Okay, so this is my boa Cleopatra. She is currently 3 years old. She's pushing 5 feet. And most of you might say, oh, she's pretty small for a 3-year-old boa, and you probably would be correct. I haven't been power feeding her or anything like that, but she has been eating regularly for the past 3 years, but she's just a slow grower. So some boas are that way. Some boas grow extremely quick, and you have to watch out for that. But difficulty for a boa is probably somewhere on the intermediate scale. They're on the smaller side of large snakes.
Bigger ones would be Burmese pythons, reticulated pythons, and African rock pythons most of the time. But boas, you think max out around what, 8 feet most of the time?
Males will max 6 to 7, somewhere around that area, or 5 to 7, and then females will get 8 to 10. I'm hoping she will get at least 8 feet. But yeah, so somewhere on the intermediate scale.
And the biggest reason why these guys are on the intermediate scale is their size.
Yeah.
They're bigger than most people's corn snakes and ball pythons when you first get them. They're going to need a lot more space, bigger food items, and just their poop is a lot bigger.
Oh my god, so much poop. It's ridiculous.
And a bite from these guys isn't really fun. Paul can definitely attest to that.
Yeah. She missed the mouse, which is super rare. And the next thing that was, I guess, hot was my hand. So she latched on for a good 30 seconds. Lots of blood. I'll spare you the details, but it wasn't pretty.
And what do you think of these guys' temperaments?
Temperament is super chill, as you can see. They're doing their standard ton flicks. It's pretty constant throughout. They're very curious. But if it's just a slow, average, I guess, speed, if you can actually see it on the camera, that's pretty consistent with just wanting to know what the surroundings are and getting used to the smells. There's lots of new smells in here, especially because of other pets that Lucas has. So she's just trying to figure out everything. But overall, they are, depending on their size, they are pretty chill and pretty chill to handle as well. Because of their size, you don't necessarily need 2 people to handle them. Right now I can handle with one hand pretty easily right now. I would have to either put her on my shoulders or use 2 hands eventually when she's over 6 feet long. So, yeah.
And how big do these guys normally start?
They normally start at about the size of this juvenile the size of this juvenile ball python, which that one is probably about 18, yeah, maybe
1.5 feet.
But when you get a boa, they are a little bit thinner than a ball python, and they're roughly 18 to 22 inches, somewhere in between that area.
So do you think this could be a bad thing for people whenever they see them at pet shows, thinking that it's a beginner snake?
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you've never experienced exotic snakes or a snake that's over 6 feet. I wouldn't necessarily call them a beginner animal like a ball python because they don't necessarily get as big as a ball python, even at their smallest size. They're pretty large as soon as they come out. So with that said, they're going to be a little bit more difficult to keep just based on their size.
And what do you feed them whenever you get them this size?
So when I got her, I was feeding her pinkies every 7 days, and then she pretty much outgrew that within the first like 6 months, and then I moved her up to fuzzies, and then she outgrew that within the year, and I moved her up to small mice, and she stayed on small mice for about another year, and then now she is eating a medium rat every 7 to 10 days. She's actually due for a meal today.
And feeding them all these different sized rodents, how expensive is that usually?
Well, it depends. The place that I get them from, perfectprey.com.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, not a sponsor, but super reliable, super clean, and it costs maybe $60 every maybe every 6 months, depending on how often you feed. There's a pack of 25 that I have, and I have 2 of those. So if you're going 50 weeks, you know, it's not going to be as expensive as you're thinking, but over time, the prey size gets larger, but you won't have to get as many because you're feeding in a frequency that's less.
So overall, these guys are much less expensive to feed than even a dog or a cat.
Oh god,
Just
yeah.
because $120 a year?
Yeah.
That's great! Like, you couldn't get away with feeding a dog that. You can spend that much on just grooming a dog. Whereas
Yeah.
a snake, they just shed their skin once every other month or so?
Well, at the moment, she's growing pretty fast, so she's doing every 2 to 3 months she's shedding, so.
Those boas are some of my favorite things on the planet. Even though they're not for most beginners, I'd still highly recommend them. If you were to rank these on a scale of 5, what would you give?
5, 6, no. I would probably rank them at a 4, especially if you have experienced other large snakes.
Or just other snakes in general.
Yeah, other snakes in general. But they're super chill.
They're beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Just look.
And this one was sold to me as a purebred Colombian red-tailed boa. It's obviously not. The pattern is very Suriname-like. What I'm thinking is a BCI-BCC cross. A lot of that happens now in the pet trade because there's so many lines being crossed with breeding. But she's still going to get up in size as a BCC, so at least I hope.
Alright.
Oh, sorry. For the longest time I thought she was a dwarf boa because she wasn't really growing, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? So she was just growing slow.
God, Todd, what are you doing back there, buddy? Anyways, if you like this video, guys, go ahead and give us a thumbs up down below, comment. It's fine, I can cut all this out.
Go. From the top, make it drop. Just kidding. Oh god. Yikes.
Oh my god, Paul. What have I done? Actually, no, I can't have you taller than me.
Oh my god.
Get off the edge.
Say she's sometimes not manageable.
You don't do it on that one. It's
There's
the
not a-
farthest out ring.
Farthest out ring.
on the lens.
Ah, yeah. Hi!
Not yet, damn it!
Snake. Snake. Severus. Snake. Good lord, making a bunch of noise.
Get out of here!
Well, maybe not. Okay.
Good job.